because I was watching the game, and to me, this is just my opinion, and Tom is the greatest. I mean, the Super Bowl rings show it and talk about it and whatever. It didn't look like he wanted to be out there. I mean, maybe it was the pressure, though, and he was getting hit, and whatever was going on. And I remember, I at one point I looked down there, I was telling, I don't know if I told Jason or Brian, but I'm like, there's no way he's enjoying this. No way. Maybe, but so I was up there I was enjoying being up there watching the game, but it just didn't look fun to him.
Oh, that is the recently retired Ben Roethlisberger. Who would know what it looks like when it starts to slip away, when you don't have it anymore, but you're still officially a professional player? Connor Rogers, you have studied quarterbacks in college and the pros. And if you look at Tom Brady on Sunday, they were big favorites against the Steelers. They lost that game. Brady missed a walkthrough on Saturday and then went out there on Sunday and played like a guy who missed a walkthrough on Saturday. Is this just like a quick snapshot and we're all overreacting? Or do you look at Tom Brady, Connor, and say, all right, doesn't look like the greatest anymore. It looks like it's about time for him to wrap this thing up. What do you see?
Well, Michael, I think the issue is we're halfway through October and Brady's been in the headlines since the summer. So at some point you got to buck this trend. And I know they've had, a couple good weeks, especially when they've had all the wide receivers back, but they have serious issues on the offensive line that have begun due to injuries over summer. The pass protection is really eroded and Brady is suffering because of that. And he's not playing at an extremely high level. He's been okay. He's not the Bucs' biggest problem, but it feels like everything is trending in the wrong direction for them when they were expected to be, they were up there in terms of Super Bowl futures favorites. It was the Bills, and then you have them and the Packers were hanging around the NFC. Obviously, the Eagles have been the cream of the crop there, and they just have a lot of issues that I'm not quite convinced a trade deadline can fix, although I think they'll give it their best shot.
Hear me out, guys. And I know that it's sacrilege to say this. It might be sacrilege. But could it be that Tom Brady just got old?
He's been old, but on the field, yeah.
Happens to everybody, right? Happens to everybody.
There's two things in life that are undefeated, and one of them I will not say on FCC regulated airwaves. One of them is Father Time, and the other one you can figure out.
Yeah. The other one has led to. No, I'm not gonna say that. No. You staying out of trouble,
don't do it.
And I'm gonna stay out of trouble too.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna stay out of trouble, but I know what you're talking about. You're right, and they're both undefeated for a reason. You cannot push back. You cannot defeat them. You will lose every time. So is that what it is, Connor? Is it age with Tom Brady?
I think so. It happens to everybody, and Tom has evaded this longer than anybody ever expected. I think that you've kind of seen things that might frustrate him in the past build up this year bigger than ever. That's kind of what stands out to me. I think it was pretty alarming when Todd Bowles in a post-game presser comes out and says a lot of guys are still riding off of the Super Bowl year. That tells me there are problems within the locker room, and this is an assumption. This is not knowledge. But I'm sure there's plenty of people looking around the locker room and saying, what are you doing at a wedding in the middle of the season? A wedding that Bill Belichick declined to go to, and the Patriots looked fine on Sunday. And skipping walkthroughs and then losing a game where you were favored by double-digit points. That's a tough look.
Yeah, you got to be, Vinny and Connor, you want to talk about unsentimental. We could all learn a lot from Bill Belichick. So Bill Belichick, not only does Bill Belichick skip Robert Kraft's wedding, skips the wedding like, nah, man, I got stuff to do. I'd rather instead of going to New York and being there with Ed Sheeran and Meek Mill and Elton John and all the beautiful people. No, I'm not going to go to New York. I'm going to go to Cleveland where they hate me to get ready for a game. But beyond that, Belichick with Kraft. Belichick is all business. This is what Tom Brady's got to get back to because he used to be the same way. Belichick, when Kraft was up for the Hall of Fame, y'all remember this? A reporter asked, hey, Bill, could you talk about Robert Kraft and as a Hall of Fame candidate, and Bill said, yeah, he's a pretty good candidate. That's it. Okay? It's the guy signing your checks. The guy who signed your check, you say, yeah, he's a pretty good candidate. Anyway, let's talk about the red zone. Let's talk about third down efficiency. So this Brady, I'm telling you guys, I don't recognize this dude. I don't recognize a Brady who takes 11 days off in training camp, a Brady who takes a little.
The man was
trip.
trying to save his family, or maybe do something else that was previously scheduled.
I don't know what that is, but I heard something, and you guys tell me what you think of this. I heard Chris Sims talking about this earlier in the week. He said, like, he was watching a game, and it was one of those Brady games where he was feeling pressure where there was none. And this is not a 45-year-old thing. And like Brady did this when he was 35. At times, he would actually do this. He would actually duck, and nobody was around him. He would be seeing ghosts, and he'd be feeling pressure that wasn't there. But all these guys say that when you're a quarterback, it starts to go when your clock speeds up unnecessarily. You just kind of lose that internal clock that all great quarterbacks have. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm making more of it, but Connor, I guess I'm going to land it with this. Do you think in a month we'll be looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers saying, man, we made a big deal about something, and here they are. They've won their last 4 games, and they're now 7-3.
I think things will improve, but I think it's more so because the NFC is so bare bones this year. I'm not buying into the Bucs being a powerhouse in the NFL right now. Do I think they can win their next 3 or 4? Sure. And do I think it'll kind of quiet down the noise around them? Absolutely. But if you stack up the Bucs, in huge, like, do I think they're better than the Eagles right now? Absolutely not. And I think they're better than a lot of teams in the AFC? Absolutely not. So I think this noise will quiet down, but if I'm betting on Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl this year, absolutely not. And I don't see how anybody can have confidence, since he doesn't have confidence in the guys in front of him quite clearly.
Now, all this has been riveting conversation, guys. Seriously, it's been really riveting, right? Can we get to the fun stuff? Can we get to owners threatening to fight each other in the boardroom? Like, if I remember correctly, a couple of years ago, Jerry Jones was talking about fighting Jerry Richardson, talking about, I'll box you in on the inside. And now he's talking about fighting Bob Kraft. Who you got in a fight? Or B, what's wrong with these old rich dudes? Can't they just be rich and old and enjoy their billions? Why are you trying to fight?
A lot of egos at play. I mean, that's right when it comes down to it. Bored, rich, egos, great combination, guys.
Yeah, and really what it comes down to, it is egos. I think it's a lot of stuff going on there between Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft. They used to be close because, Jerry and Robert Kraft used to have a lot of respect for Jerry Jones because when Jerry Jones came into the NFL, he changed the way the league did business. I mean, he's a great businessman. So he was able to capitalize on funds that some of the old guard owners hadn't. This is late 80s, early 90s. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys started doing things that other owners just weren't really taking advantage of. And some of the small owners in small markets, they didn't like it. Because he was like, y'all, what are y'all doing? There's money out here to be made, and you're not making money. Let's sell everything. Come on, let's go. And so Kraft got into the league, I think, roughly like 5 or 6 years after Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys, and he kind of followed some of Jerry's business practices. Now, I don't want to bring up something that might be underneath all this, and that is Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame. I just mentioned a few minutes ago, Robert Kraft was a candidate for the Hall of Fame. He didn't make it. Don Coryell did. But Robert Kraft, once again, is shut out. Has twice as many Super Bowl titles as Jerry Jones. more recently than Jerry Jones has won championships, but they didn't give it to him. So there may be a little bitterness there. But you know what it really comes down to, fellas? It's the compensation for the commissioner. And I think Jerry Jones wants Roger Goodell out, and the other owners are like, nah, we like it. We'll keep paying them $60, $70 million a year, and we're fine with that. And the question I have for you both is, if you look at the NFL and we think it's the number one league in North America, we know it is. Is Roger Goodell worth fighting for? And is he worth the money that he's getting? Connor, I'll start with you. Is he worth the money? And would you be on Team Jerry and say, okay, time to, put a little pressure on Goodell and make him earn the money? Or would you be on Team Kraft saying, okay, it's working. We're making tons of money. Let's keep this thing going.
It depends if there's a candidate out there that they view can be a little bit more progressive, a little bit more active, maybe a younger guy. Now, I don't know if that candidate exists or not, and maybe Jerry does. But I think with how things have gone for the NFL financially, this is going to be everybody against Jerry. And it's, listen, Roger Goodell makes a ton of money, but when you look at what that number is compared to what the league makes, you kind of shrug your shoulders and go, yeah, that's the profile of the job. So the NFL is not a perfect league. Roger Goodell is far from a perfect commissioner. But when you look at the stakes at play and how well things have gone for those owners' pockets, I don't think anything is going to be changing, guys.
My thing would be, now I will laugh at you a little bit, kind of, when you said that the league might want someone more progressive, because the first thing I think of when I think of progressivism is Jerry Jones. I'll tell you, of all the things I think about in this world, is Jerry Jones being progressive. I don't know about you. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Jerry says, let me bring my guy in there.
That's exactly probably what it is. You know who wants to be commissioner of the NFL? Jerry Jones.
That's right.
Probably who his candidate is me.
In his head.
In his head, because he feels like he runs the NFL anyway, and he might very well be that, right? Roger Goodell has created this great illusion, or I won't say this, Adam Silver created this great illusion that he operates separate from the owners. Roger Goodell is doing exactly what he's been paid to do. Take the bullets for the owners. Over the last couple of years, whenever it's been, whether it's been CTE, whether it's been the flag and all of that nonsense, it was Roger Goodell in front of everybody. Remember him being in a bunker? It looked like during the NFL draft, or not the NFL draft, it was like maybe his basement, and he was saying,
it was,
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
We messed up. We need to do better. That's why you're making $60 million a year, so that they don't do it. I'm very curious what Jerry Jones is expecting of someone in that seat to do that Roger Goodell is not doing. They're making money hand over fist. They're putting on more football, even though the football isn't better. And you're protecting your, number one investment, your quarterback, at such a rate that even quarterbacks are saying, hey, this is a little on the soft side. So my question to Jerry would be, who else would you put in that spot, and what else would you expect?
I think he's still mad. I think he's mad about Ezekiel Elliott and the suspension. And he's probably just mad that Roger Goodell just do everything. Just do what I want you to do, man. Just do what I want you to do. It's about me. Forget about everybody else. If you just follow my instructions, I got your back.
You know what this is? You know what this is?
Stooge?
I heard this from an ex-girlfriend. You'll love this.
Oh, here we go. Hey, Connor, here we go. Story time. Story time with Vinny.
It's not so. It's a very, very simple quote. I don't want to control you. I just want you to do what I say. That is Jerry Jones to Roger Goodell.
Oh, I don't want to control you. I want you to do what I say. Whoa, that's it. And I'd be like,
basically, basically, it's 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. It's just about the framing of it. That's all.
And if she says that to you,
I didn't do what she said.
I was gonna say, if she says that to you and she's driving, you're like, hey, how about just let me out right here? I'm just gonna run to the store real quick and just get out of there. Get out of there as fast as possible. That's that point in the horror movie where you got to run the other way. Run the other way, please. Do not hang out with her. Last thing for you, Connor, because we cannot let you go without this. Are there any final words you'd like to say to your New York Mets who let you down, who let down all of Queens, let down everybody down the stretch? All they got to do is win a game against the Braves to maybe put themselves in a better position to actually win the division. They don't do that. Max Scherzer just disappoints when the lights are the brightest. What would you like to say to your beloved New York Mets?
Oh, man, what is left to say for the Mets right now? A huge offseason. It's always a huge offseason. We're always looking at the offseason. It was a lot of fun until it wasn't. I mean, over 100 wins and then a first-round exit. I'll leave it at this. I hope they do something exciting, maybe make a play for Ohtani if the Angels really do move on from him, which sounds insane, but when your team's for sale, anything can happen. So I hope for an exciting baseball offseason for the Mets. That's all I could ask for, Michael.
Yeah, Ohtani in New York. Woo! That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. But, hey, Connor, great talking to you as usual. And I was rooting for him. I really was rooting for him. It would be better than what we have right now. I knew it was going to be something unusual. Remember, I kept saying the Cardinals, but it's not the Cardinals. Now we got Padres, Phillies in the NLCS. And then you got to root for somebody you hate in the AL, either the Yankees or the Astros. You probably rooting for the Astros, right?
You know how it is. I mean, we have to deal with the big brother thing here in New York like no other. So we've kind of been holding out hope that that trend finally ends, and we'll see how it goes. The Astros usually are the ones to end that trend.
No disrespect,
Connor,
but you look like a Mets fan. You look like a dude who would root for the Mets.
Listen, before I go, you got to realize I grew up in New York. Mets, Knicks, Jets. All right? It's been a tough road. It's been a real tough road here.
You like toxic relationships, huh?
You got that right.
But the Jets are good. The Jets are good now.
No, they're not.
Fingers
they
crossed.
just want some games.
We'll see.
The Jets are good, baby. Come on. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.